let's get into the first headline. And I'm not even going to pretend to try to also. So normally, if you watch us live, we'll like show you a portion of the article so that you know where the article came from. It's probably like copywritten or something like that, and that's probably why we do that. But I'm just going to say, like, for this one's on CNBC, because displaying the articles and trying to get comments, like I literally have no hands left. So we are we're at our limit. And Matt, I do see that some folks are raising their hands, so feel free to get to them. The first topic up for grabs. We're going to talk about existing home sales in 2020 hit the highest point since 2006, but listings are at a record low. So this article does come to us from CNBC. The pandemic-driven demand is how the article starts. And my question is, was it really pandemic-driven demand, or was there demand there that then was suppressed, but then came out towards the latter quarter? Anyway, it sent the total 2020 home sales to the highest level since 2006. According to the National Association of Realtors, sales were 22% stronger than December of 2019. Now, note in the article that there isn't that big negative splash that it normally says. Sales were only 0. whatever percent above where they were last week, but they're 22% stronger. No, this one's all positive, which Dan and I have talked about the politics behind that, and we may or may not disagree. So the total year-end sales volume ended at 5.64 million. 5.64 million units. Home sales could possibly reach what? So this is the quiz part of the show. So I want to get some answers here. Dan, I'm going to start with you. Yep. What do you think home sales could have reached, says Lawrence Yun, chief economist for the Realtors, had we had the inventory? It got to 5.64 million. What do you think it could have gotten to?
I mean, I'm going to kind of base it on where I was at all year, or where we were at in my city for the last part of the year, which is, I'm going to run my numbers when I hit my next story. But if we had a regular 4 months of inventory, I mean, you got to think, if every single house, I don't know what the averages are, but every single house is getting 10 offers. Like, we're averaging about 10 offers, maybe more. I'm being conservative there. That's one buyer with 9 left over.
Right.
So, I mean, you do some quick math. If those 9 buyers had somewhere to go, then, I mean, I would add another million to that at least, right? I mean,
another million units. So you think like 6, you think you would have said like 6 point, what was it, 0.4? Was 6?
Yeah, add another million, 6.5 million. I don't know. I can't crush those numbers, but also you'd have to be careful though. If you have too much inventory, then there's not enough buyers. But if it stayed in the kind of 2.5, 3 months supply where there's just enough, I think it could have added another million.
All right, let me jump to Pete. Pete, what do you think the year-end sales could have been had we had enough inventory, according to the chief economist, Lawrence Yun? Hopefully you didn't Google it.
I did not Google it, but I think it would have been a full cup of coffee, unlike what I just spilled all over the place.
Oh, no. Oh, no. All right, so what's your $1 million estimate? What would it have been?
Full inventory? I don't know. I'm distracted by the coffee. Go to Lindsay.
That's hilarious. Okay, Lindsay, what do you think? How many millions of units could we sold, according to Lawrence Yun, chief economist, had we had full available inventory for everyone to make a purchase?
All the millions?
Oh my gosh.
I'm really bad at math. Real bad at math.
And don't just say more.
Half as many times as we sold, because I didn't hear the number.
Okay, so if we add half back to that number, that would have been what, 2.34?
So she's saying
7.9. 7.9. And the winner is Lindsay. He thinks 8 million would have had. Yeah, he thinks we would have been at 8 million this year. So apparently there's almost 3.5 missing, or 2.5 missing million. So she was almost right on the button there.
So that means, and are these December's numbers?
These are year-end numbers, is what they say.
So that means there's 3 million buyers out there right now.
Yeah.
In his estimation. Wow.
And he says mortgage rates should remain very low throughout 2021, though we may have seen the lowest already. I don't know if they're going to remain low through 2021 with Yellen and what we're seeing so far. I'm not so sure.
Well, remember, what is low?
Yeah, I mean, historically low. You could say it's historically low because the historic average is like 7 to 8%. So yeah, they would be right if they said it's going to be historically low through 2021. But He says, although we may have seen the lowest already. So getting the old 2% may be over.